So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are here in Bangkok and we are going to do one lap of the lake with me.
I got a girl that compliments my fly, and when it goes down, I know she gon' ride. I finally got somebody I can call.
Good morning, Bruno.
Good morning, everyone.
You just
And
finished your training session. How was it?
It was really nice and warm, I guess, here in Bangkok, but really satisfying to finish.
I finally got somebody I can call mine.
Well, I guess it's commitment. We had a goal with my brother Daniel, and nothing could stop us. I mean, not even the not ideal condition, and we made this lake become ideal for our training. And yes, we're committed. And after a little bit, you almost go crazy doing 40 kilometers on a lap of 1 kilometer. But hey, even athletes are running in circles in the stadium, so if they can do it, we can do it.
My one time for the one time. I got a girl.
Yes, definitely. Paddling, it's a big part of our life, but almost the bigger part is running. I'm running almost every day, so even my clothing, my legs and everything shows it off pretty much that running, it's a huge part of our training, not only for the cardio part and the training of our lungs and heart, but also for the digestion. It's really helping to shake down every unused thing in my stomach, I guess, and running, it's a huge part. But then I do CrossFit free body training. I'm not really a huge fan of using weights and creating big mass of muscles. I'm more for endurance and lean muscles. And yeah, CrossFit and free body exercises, pull-ups, sit-ups are a huge part of my daily routine. And definitely yoga and stretching, that's a key point in my training, because after a little bit, you can't really train more in time and in intensity. So you have to notch up the quality of your training. And I really believe that with stretching, you can create better muscle types. And then you can, of course, perform better. So that's the aim to achieve. So.
Compliments my fly, and when it goes down, I know she gon'
Favorite snack is chocolate and banana. These are my two secrets. And I'm lucky enough to have pot chocolate from Bali as one of our sponsors. It's an organic, high quality superfood. And we saw that chocolate, it's a really good superfood and nutrition while racing, and it also makes you happy. So it's a win-win situation because it tastes good and feels good after. But definitely as favorite snack and safest snack that I usually use, I have to go with banana because it's really healthy and you can use it pre-race, during the race, after the race, and you can find it everywhere in the world. So that's my favorite snack, I think.
I finally got somebody I can call mine. My one time.
I have to say the 11th city is still a big point in my heart and in my season. But as a scenery, I think the Florence Paddle Games was one of the more heartwarming experiences of this year for me, growing up in Italy and going back there racing. It was a really cool experience and I really like to support a new event too. But otherwise, definitely PPG and all the events, San Sebastian, where we have a little bit of wave, it's always exciting because it's more like a motocross event that there is adrenaline, action, and some carnage most likely. So that's a complete different type of experience and I definitely like that. So. Well, how I approach it is that it's an event of 3 months. I don't consider it singular events, but I look at the whole 3 or 2 months of events, and that's how I train. So during the week between the events, I would always train as it was a normal training period, and then I almost consider the event itself a really hard training. Because if I start to just focus on singular events, then most likely on the 3rd or 4th stop, I will not function anymore. But if I approach it almost as a training and just as a normal routine, then I feel that it's a little bit easier. But as always, we are humans and we can't really perform for 3 months at the highest level without mistakes. So I have ups and downs. during the Euro Tour, but what I'm trying to do is to have my lowest points still really high. So then it's always good. But I just love the Euro Tour in general because we are going in the most beautiful beaches and cities of Europe, and it's a really good atmosphere, a good tour, good organization. So I'm most likely going back also next year to do the whole Euro Tour, because why not? Well, it was really interesting because, as most of the people know, you feel really weird after the 11th city for probably 3 weeks or almost a month. Your body just wants to relax, but I knew that I have to do good in California in PPG, and that's 3-week times from 11 cities. So I decided this year to jump into something new, and I decided, all right, straight after the 11th city I will go to New York, and I will eventually enter a SUP race and then a SUP surf event too. That was a really new thing for me and a new experience. But really unluckily I got to New York and they lost my paddle bag with all my racing gear, hydration, everything, literally everything I needed for racing, it was gone. And after waiting for maybe a week or almost 10 days, they called me and the airline told me that they can't find my bag. So at that stage I was like, this is not going to work out good. I started to buy new clothes, new equipment for myself. But luckily I wrote to Sean Pointer and he borrowed me literally board, leash, wetsuit, fins, paddle, everything. And I just decided to enter a SUP surf event. And it was the best decision, I guess, of my life, because I had heaps of fun. I kept on training and moving after the 11th city. I was feeling good. I made a lot of new friends. So from a really bad situation when I pretty much lost everything I've been working for, I just stood up and looked at it in the fun way. And I had a really good week of surfing with all the best surfers of the world. And I loved it. So. The Sprint was always my first board. That was the board I started my career on. So I was straight away standing on a dugout board closer to the water surface. And I still love that feeling, to being not on top of a board, but inside a board closer to the water line. And somehow just the shape of a flat water board, the shape of the nose, makes me excited to go faster. And every time I take a stroke, I see the speed coming up on the nose of the board, and it just makes me want to go faster and faster and faster. So that's why I guess I always stick to the Sprint. And as one of my first mentor, Jeremy Stephenson, told me and teased me to get used to one equipment and get to know the board and then use it everywhere, because most likely it will turn out better than switching gear for every condition and trying to learn the board. Because now I'm pretty confident that I know every segment of that board. I used it in every condition, starting from overhead waves, downwinders, beach race, long distance flat water, long distance ocean. I use that board literally everywhere. I surf even on the nose of it. So I just love the board, and it's also the narrowest board of the range. And I'm quite sure it's one of the narrowest boards on the market. So for me, it just makes sense to learn to use a board and then stick to it in every condition, because I prefer to know what's gonna happen under my foot than eventually have the best board for the water condition. So that's why I always love my Sprint.
Don't care who you were before or what they say about you. Refresh like air, no.
Well, I'm almost totally sure that I can't, but I can assure everyone that the boards will get faster as we have the criteria while we are testing the new boards, that every board has to be one board length faster on 50 stroke than the previous year. So that's the criteria for creating a new board here at Starboard. And we every year work till we don't achieve it. So the next board in 2020 is going to be faster than the 2019, at least of one board length of 50 strokes. And well, if you made the calculation, you can realize that on a 10-kilometer race, it can make a huge difference. So let's watch out for the Starboard. Well, my favorite board, apart from the Sprint and all the racing category, I spend as a hobby always SUP surfing. So my sub surfboard usually is the Insane model, the 7.2 by 24. And I feel that it's a really, really good surfboard. It can give me all the adrenaline I need, even though sometimes it's hard. So I would love to go out with a 9.0 longboard and just take it really easy, do some easy, nice nose rides and just carve on the wave. And yeah, like, I don't know. Honestly, I spend almost all my times on Raceboard, even on waves. Even when I'm not training, I love surfing with the All-Star, with the Sprint. And it's really it's not up to the board, it's more up to how you feel out there. And I usually feel really good being out in the water. So I'm always having fun beside what board I'm standing on. Actually, once I managed to do kickflips with the board, like to literally flip it up and jump and stand on the other side. But then I don't do that anymore because on one side it's like I managed to flip it, then I wanted to flip it back and literally just and like knocks myself down, and that's never too good.
No.
I remember when we were still in college and your girl's boyfriend friends was always trying to holler, not a lot. Chain sin stand, but they don't want these problems. Let the top fold, ride slow. Let them know I got you, never been insecure. But I don't play about you, don't care who you were before or what they say about you. We fresh like air, no pollute. We didn't came too far, this no fluke. When you on my arm, you look great. Let them hate, cause they on mute. And girl, I brought you around my mama now. Now I can't come around without you. I got money and respect, but you know that pussy's power. Type that make any man feel rejection. I was no coward. Got your heart in my possession. Guess you can say it's ours. You fine like, let me just say you gifted. No understatement, let me rephrase it. You so exquisite. I'd be dumb if I didn't turn you into my missus. Been through your ups and downs, but with me you only get lifted. I got a girl that compliments my fly, and when it goes down, I know she